Oh, you could download it on thing. And then you can't even have a backstage to talk. We cannot connect to your server. Make sure the URL and stream are correct. If like
Uh,
what are we doing? What are we doing? Be live? You let me down. I really wish live stream would work. I wish I could figure that out because I love live stream. It's so robust. I can do literally whatever I want. Oh, here we go. 3, 2, 1. And now we are live. Hopefully. Technical difficulties. But let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's check all the feeds. If you're hopping on, say hello.
Say hello. Say hello. While he's looking for that, you know, industry was hit pretty hard. You guys know the alpha dog, Mr. Jim Ziegler. He went on to better pastures. So uh, I love this quote that Lou Ramirez posted of him. It says, "If you want to be successful in the car business, you have to believe in the product, the dealership, and most importantly, yourself. You, the person, right? So, Alpha Dog, appreciate you and everything that you've done and contributed to the business. And I'm sure we're all going to be grateful and thankful for the contributions that you've made. And let's go, Nate.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jim, for all of your expertise and bringing the rising the tide to raise all boats is what we're trying to do in this industry. So thank you, Jim. Your legend will live on. The people that know you, love you, will continue to keep your legacy running. And yeah, let's keep it rocking. And today's very special, and because we don't typically do like a podcast recap of other podcasts or different things like that, but I sent Brian this podcast, and if you don't already know, this is Social Prime Time from the Automotive Creative Collective. This is a podcast where we talk about storytelling, branding, and social media strategies that are tailored for automotive world, aka those that are in the automotive space, that are in the dealerships, making content day in and day out. We run this podcast for you all to really give you tactical and practical tips and make prime content. Now, what is prime content? Prime content is something that we are working to showcase to help you create more personable, more relatable, more relevant, informational, memorable, entertaining, and engaging content. And that is what we really meant by creating this prime time, quote unquote, social prime time for the Automotive Creative Collective and those that are out there that are in it every single day, making that
The
content, being the
grind,
boots on the ground.
in the grind, scratching your head. What are we gonna do today? Unless you're like Nathaniel, whose March calendar is probably up and running to go. But it is for specifically for automotive. Tons of automotive podcasts out there. We get it. All right. But this one is geared towards you. You know, you got to do video. You know, you got to do content. A lot of these podcasts have special guests and talking about this and that, and the industry and the ups and downs, the woes. We focus on this. We focus on you and you creating content for the automotive space.
Yes, sir. And today we're specifically talking about the science of virality. Now, I've implemented some of these things in terms of like the concepts and what he was really talking about. And by he, I mean, what's his name?
Brendan Kane.
Brendan Kane, who wrote the hook. I got a lot of stuff going on here, right? Like, bro, I'm telling you, this is a different podcast today. Got a lot of stuff running and a
Perfect.
lot of stuff not running, you know. Anyway, moving on. So this really had a great impact on how I'm thinking about different things because he talked about why do some videos blow up versus others, and the kind of telling your story in short segments and video segments. And if you don't know now and you've been living under a rock, video is dominant. Short video is dominant across many different platforms, but obviously photos still work. I mean, there's so many instances on my own anecdotal evidence that says that photos still work for specific things, what you're trying to do. I get that. I know that I'm going to get somebody that's like, well, what about the photos? What about all the carousels? Yes, they all work. They all have their specific purpose. But today we're specifically talking about
But
how
what about merchandising, man? It's
just
got to be,
got to get
bro.
those cars.
We get them on the VDPs, bro, and they're gonna look at the pictures. That's what they're looking at. Come on.
Yeah,
Yes,
people.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
all of that. Yep. People really care about that car that you're showing them. But we're talking about the domination of video content and how that has swept the social media. And now it's not even social, it's like interest media. It's like whatever you're interested in is what you're going to see, and you have to craft your algorithm to make it look how you want it to look. But that's a conversation for another time.
That's
But
another.
we're specifically talking about the
That's like
virality video and all of that.
that free that stuff. That's Gary Vee says. That's just the internet now. It's not even social media. It's just the
Yeah,
internet.
it's just the internet. you know but we're talking specifically the science of virality, and there are a bunch of points in
What's
this.
that noise?
Can you hear it?
Yes, we can hear that.
Oh, sorry. I bet you. Hold on. Well, that's why.
Got a mic hot somewhere.
Gotta way
No, I
better.
lost you. There you go. All right,
Am I back now?
you're back.
Does my audio sound better?
Your audio sounds amazing.
Can you hear this?
I can hear that. Not bad.
Okay, great.
Can't hear that.
Not as bad. Not as bad. Perfect. Well,
Okay.
that's actually coming through the microphone. The other one was coming through my MacBook. So there's that. It
Oh, so
just
you just
decided.
got a mic for the style and the look.
Yeah, I was just, because I don't have this connected to anything, right? Anyway, just resetting the settings here. But why do specific videos blow up? And there are a few things that he talks about that I want to point out here, that we've talked about before, but we're gonna actually kind of point them out and what's going on,
Formula to it.
the formula to it. So why do some videos get millions of views? They have a pattern interrupt. There's a bunch of emotional triggers. There's social proof. There's a storytelling structure, and there's a shareability factor. So these are some of the main points, right? And then when you look at it from a social media perspective, or the platforms that you're showcasing these videos on, what do these platforms really care about? Well, they care about people staying on their platform so that they can give them more ads, right?
That's it. That's the
That's
main
it,
thing.
right? So
Stay
if you're
here.
making,
Don't go anywhere. Don't share a link. Don't keep them here, and we will reward you because we want them on our platforms so we can show them more ads.
and the way that you can talk about this to anyone who's trying to understand this, who is just a marketer in the automotive realm, be like, remember that time where you're like, I don't want to redirect anybody from my website to another website. This is the same concept, except a bigger platform with a lot more people to be like, hey,
And a lot
these
more
people
reach.
want it. Mm, mm, mm. So they have a lot more stats. And when you are creating this, there's three main key performing indicators that the algorithms pick for these virality videos. So it's a high watch time, engagement rate, and repeat views. So if people coming back to them multiple times. And I will say, I don't know for a fact if they know that you are trying to spam them with viewing. You can't just leave your phone on to have it repeating. But those are the three key things. So let's talk a little bit about the first one that I talked about for the pattern interrupt, right? So what is a pattern interrupt? This is the whoa, 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 don't stop, right? or like the it's that first 3 seconds that we talk about. How do you get that pattern interrupt? Right.
You got to
That's
disrupt somebody because they're just mind-numbingly scrolling. And how do you stop the scroll? How
right.
important, how engaging is your content that's going to disrupt somebody's pattern? You're just going to, it's that record scratch all the time.
Yeah. Right.
So
I mean, then there's plenty of different hooks that you can talk about, whether it's the negative hooks, whether it's that visual hook, whether it's the storyline that emotionally hits. So the emotional trigger that it invokes the surprise, the curiosity, or even controversy, which people really love. That's kind of the negative. I'd say that would be the negative piece. Like, if you're not doing this, you're losing business, right? Like, that is kind of the hooks that you can kind of go with. Or this person took this much and made this much, and you can too. Okay, there's another hook, right? All of these different things. Or you wouldn't believe what this person did. You're invoking curiosity. Like, these are all different little hooks that you can do to really stop that pattern interrupt and grab that emotional trigger. So there's 1 and 2. We got that pattern interrupt, or maybe it's you know, uh, I'm thinking like a visual hook is we had them running those trends for a long time. For the 2024 season was, how do I get these America's Funniest Home Video first 3 clips where someone gets hit in the face or someone's kicking something, right? Like, these were those
still work
visual
though.
hooks.
That's,
What?
they still work to an extent, right?
They still
You
work,
grab
yeah.
you grab the different content from somewhere else, and then you splice it in with yours, and you finish the story, things like that. Or, I mean, we're all adults here. What gets attention visually, right? And if your algorithms are showing certain things, and wifey picks up the phone, what are you looking at?
You know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing.
So all these
That's
little
not a car. What?
no, it's a visual hook.
Yeah,
This is for research purposes.
gotcha.
So we're talking about these emotional triggers, and if you're hopping on, you're following the live, you're listening to the podcast afterwards. Um, I would love for you to share some of your most favorite, and this is specifically if you are listening to this inside of the Automotive Creative Collective, and if you're not a part of the Automotive Creative Collective, make sure you go to Facebook to join that group where we are sharing what Brian and I and others around the country that are making content day in and day out are doing, sharing our content, trying to build a community so that you are not alone, right? If you're a content creator in a dealership, you're not alone. There's many of us. We are just building a community so that everyone can help everybody become better in the content space so that your brand, your dealership brand is out there. Okay. There's
You
the
know how much it
shameless plug.
costs? How much membership fees are?
Oh yeah, they are free 50.
$3.99 all the time, bro. Off the ACC.
ACC, yeah, you know me. So, um, moving on, we have the pattern interrupt. This is that first 3 seconds, the hook. Emotional triggers, viral content often evokes different types of emotions. Social proof. And what we mean by that, take it away. You got it?
No, I was just saying this is key right here. This is to me what Nathaniel's gonna talk about right now, especially now, because if you're the sharer or the sharee or the recipient, and you just start sending reels and things like that to each other, that is definitely rewarding your content. So go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, you hit it on the head. Social proof is exactly what it's sounding like. And it's social media, people on social doing social things with your content to say, hey, this is right. So this is the engaging aspect of social media. Everybody is telling, I'm sharing this to my friend. I'm copying the link. I'm texting it. I am reacting to it. I'm commenting to this, right? I'm tagging my friend. These are social proof KPIs for the algorithm to let them know, hey, people are really liking this. We should probably share more of it. We should share it to more people because more people are going to like this. And they go through their little Rolodex, right? They're like scrolling through that old Rolodex you guys used to have back in the day, and you're looking through your CRM, you're like, oh, let me find Joey. I know he's really gonna like this car. It's the same concept, but they're using millions of people, even billions of people, right? That they know of, that they have demographics and all that. Everybody loves their stats, right? We all love our data. And so they're using this data to say, hey, this person might like this person might like this. And you might even be seeing that now as you're scrolling through your feed. You're seeing, hey, suggested to you, you might like this. And even Facebook's like, are you interested in this? YouTube Shorts, same concept. You're scrolling through, it's a suggested post, and it's like, do you want to see more of this? Yes or no? Like, they are so myopically focused on you liking this content to keep you on the platform, like we just talked about.
The platform. That's their goal. That's their intent. I mean, and you can also attribute it to, if we're still keeping it within the realm of we're talking social proof in the automotive, it's the reputation, right? When somebody sees that they bought the car from you and they share it on Google reviews, or what's the one everyone hates, Yelp, right?
Yep.
They see that and they look at the stars and all that. They want to see what everybody else is thinking. So they want to tailor this to you. So if you really want to show your team how appreciative you are, share your content.
Yep.
Have them share your content. Hey, oh, great video. Did you like it? Do you walk around the dealership being like, "Hey, man, that one was funny. Did you like it?"
Oh yeah, it's
I
good
want
when
to
you're
know
when you're when you're
personally. Push the button to like it.
yeah.
Oh, why? I can tell you to your face. I always tease some guys and some of the service advisors. Hey, if I get a penny for every like I get, can you get down?
Every time you tell me is 1 penny. Every time you share it is 5 pennies.
Oh,
Oh. No, but that's so true. Like, if your team's not sharing it, and it's listen, Brian and I are there. We're in there with you. We get it. Sometimes you don't want to ask, but you gotta. And I will even say, we're not even perfect at it. I'm not perfect at it, but it's this mental process. This is why the dealership is hiring you, because you are becoming the social media expert, the media expert at this point, when it comes to content creation and what it takes to be on a platform. And one of the things that, and I don't know if we're gonna get to it, or it'll probably come in later in these notes, but one of the things that he talked about that really stuck out to me was the fact that anybody can shoot content on their phone. And because of that, oh yeah, this is goes into the pattern of like what you need to do to create the content. But everybody can make a video, so everybody knows that video that is being made now, everyone's becoming a critic of the content that's being made. So they're going to know if you're doing the work to make a good video, or they know that you're just fluffing it, right? And I think that's a huge point now, right? Like, it's no longer, and I I preface this all the time because yes, could you go onto social media at any point and make a viral piece of content by using your phone? Yes. For all my haters out there that are about to be like, "Well, you can go on your phone and make viral content." Yes. The answer is yes. However, when you're doing what we're about to talk about when it comes to building these pieces out. This is where the professional social media content creators come into play. They understand these different formats, different styles, and how to bring it into the dealership, which is why it's no longer, hey, let me just throw this at the wall and see what sticks. It's, hey, I have done that. Now I can actually go and look and see what is being pushed out, what is not being pushed out, and I can triple down on that, double down on that, and keep going.
Yeah. So what Nathaniel's alluding to is there's a model to it. All right. This is Brandon's viral content model, right? So you want to know what you're doing before you do it. Okay. I definitely am not one to adhere to this too often, but there really is a method to the madness. Okay, you got to research what you want to do, what you want to showcase, how you want to show it. Like Nate said, anyone could flip it, it goes viral, boom. Okay, but what are you going to do with it? How can you sustain that? Well, just because something hit and then you get a boom of followers, right? And you don't continue to produce content that is relevant and that is worthy of them tuning in, they're gonna bounce and you're gonna see numbers dwindle, and the algorithm knows that too. So they're gonna be like, oh, should we give this guy another chance? So it's you really gotta hone in on what you're doing in terms of research.
Yeah, so that's he has 5 steps. That's the first step. And I think if you take nothing away from this besides this one thing, virality isn't random, it's engineered. And people that continuously go and get viral is because they found what they're looking for and they continue to build off of that what they know. So when you're researching, study what's working, right? Exactly what Brian's talking about. Go through and everybody is guilty of doom scrolling. But what are you doing? What can you do instead of doom scroll is you can go in and see, take a look at these viral videos. What format is this? What style of content is he making? And in the podcast from the Social Media Examiner, so if you don't already follow the Social Media Examiner, you got to take a look at that. Highly rated. They are bringing social media to the next level, and they give a lot of stuff. And this is kind of where we're coming off of this. But these different formats, you can it's like taking they have you ever seen Billy on the Street?
Engineering it.
What?
You're reverse engineering it.
Right.
Whose content you like, right? There's a
Right.
pattern. There's something that is drawing you to continuing to watch those people, why it keeps hitting your feed, why you keep watching every video that they produce. Oh, that's right. They said they teed it off. They said that they're going to talk about this, and that. There's just something that's going to keep you coming back to watch.
Right. And that's really where you, as the content creator in the dealership, have to be focusing on researching, looking at these posts, taking time out of your schedule. And that's why we talked about having a content calendar ahead of time, because that allows you to start to have this extra free time to really do some research for that. Now, once you do that research, you're going to be seeing things of like, are people viewing more behind the scenes? Are they enjoying more point of view videos, right? Okay, now I choose that format, and now I try to implement that into my dealership. How do I implement that? And we're not talking about trends, right? We're not talking about the Kendrick Lamar trend dance, right? We're talking about people that continuously go viral, and it's because they have this underlying format of the video that they've continuously step into and perform and continue to create that similar style. So don't hear me and say, I'm going to go find the trend and follow that because I see that's working. But look and see what style suits the content that you're looking for. And then um, don't just film and post, plan the hook, plan the middle, plan the call to action in advance.
Well, to go back real quick so people can understand when you're talking about format selection, that the one that they talked about was the man on the street, right? Somebody
Right.
going to somebody, and it's perpetual. It's the content that's pushed out, and they continue to produce it, going up to different people and asking, certain questions or political views or how they started dating or things like that, how they became a millionaire. And so there's just that pattern, that formula that they're following, and it gets its views. Like Nathaniel said, yeah, we could hop on some trends and create some content real quick and things like that, but that's not going to be able to sustain you. And when you got to show your numbers to the bosses and be like, yeah, that hit, yeah, yeah, but what have you done for me lately? So it's little Janet Jackson video going on. So go ahead. We talked about that. Now Nathaniel's going to talk about the idea. Now you researched it. You're looking for the format selection. Now you're going to ideate it and try to get that hook, and then the middle, the meat of it, and then right. And we always talk about it in the car, the call to action. How are we going to end it? What are we going to get? To come down to the dealership and buy your car today. Right. So
Exactly. But that's, you know, don't just film and post it, right? Plan it out, plan your hook, plan your middle, plan your call to action, and you'll see. And I want to kind of, I'm going to go into the AI realm with this. This is kind of where your AI brain can come in, right? You could go in and be like, hey, I found this style of content. I am doing this. I'm trying to accomplish this. How would you do this to kind of recreate this style content for what I'm trying to create, right? Then it gives you this full list of the things. Well, you could do this, this, and this, and this. And it comes up with sometimes like super silly stuff that you're like, dude, I don't even know where you got this from, but no. And you kind of playing around, you're playing in the AI realm, the AI game, the playground, to where like you get to like 90%, right? And then you bring that into your Google Doc and you take that, you tweak it, and now you got your video, you got your script, you're ready to go, and the idea has been fully created, and now you're ready to go.
well, the great thing with the latest models, right, is now you can upload links, you can show videos. For instance, today, our latest commercial that we uh, posted about, the documentary, David Attenborough's how I uploaded it. Hey, now create me 5 different titles using this video that I just sent you, and that I'm going to post on Facebook. So
Right.
it's been really smart. And it'll say, okay, what do you think of these? And then you could say, well, iterate this one more. Give me build out of the third one. Give me 3 other variations using that word or style, right?
Right.
So you can get really granular with it. And if you continue to upload your content or talk about you, look, I'm known, Nathaniel's known. Now I say, hey, you are Brian Ortega, the quirky weird dude at Valley Toyota. Come up with 5 different ideas that you would do showcasing the Tacoma, and then just go from there. So you can do it. Do it.
Yes, if you have access to it, it will immediately help your effectiveness, and it will actually expand your mind, right? It will actually expand maybe thoughts that you have later. And you're like, wow, I wouldn't even thought of what you're talking about. That's like really outside the box. I can kind of bring that in and make it something good. So, all right. So that's the ideation. We talked about research. We talked about the format selection. We talked about the ideation. Now we're moving on the production iteration. So this is the different variants of the video that you're trying to create. So for instance, maybe your first person perspective gets better attention than your wide shots. So this is where you as a content creator are learning these different, you're becoming a master in your field by understanding wide, medium, close up, POV, over the shoulder, Dutch shots. Like how you are becoming a master. You are constantly thinking about the different shots. You are kind of dissecting your video. And honestly, this is where Mr. Beast has been the GOAT for YouTube. He literally looks at his retention, which is what we should all be doing, but he was looking at retention when it wasn't cool. He was looking to see, oh, they dropped off at 5 minutes, 1 second. Why? And he just continued to ask himself why. And then he continued to ask himself, well, how can I continue to keep them for longer periods of time? And through the process of, okay, what type of shot? What did I say? How can I continue? Do I need to make a cut to keep their attention for longer? Right. And this is where we have to be. And this is the product iteration, which is I I shot this video, but how do I change it to get a better view?
And it's not going to happen overnight, right? So
Oh, absolutely not.
don't let Nathaniel scare you with these tactics of his. So you guys got to go out there and find, yeah, exactly what angle, what works, what didn't, why didn't that hit, why did this one hit, and it's just you keep asking yourself why, and then you can just iterate from there, and then that's how you build your formula, your personal brand, your formula, your store's style. And when people actually react to you, it's great. It's such a great feeling when somebody comes up to you and be like, hey, I saw that thing that you guys posted, that thing was hilarious, or I really learned a lot about the 2025 GR Corolla. You just that's that's the reward we get, is when we get that audience, and we get that type of kudos, right?
Right. Well, I mean, that's why we're making content, right? We're making content not for us. Like, who cares if we see it? It's like no one.
Well,
We shouldn't care. We shouldn't care if it pops up in our feed. Like that's something that I try to think about. Is like, should this? I mean, obviously it's going to, because I have told the algorithm that I want to see stuff from Wakanda. But if I don't see it in my feed, then I'm okay with it, because maybe it's not for me this time, and I'm glad that something is not just about me, right? It needs to be for the customer you're trying to attract, and the customer that you've already attracted, and the customer that has become your super fan, and the customer that's like slightly falling off and becoming a stranger again. We talk about this circle every single time and continue to talk about it, because it's a life cycle. You have to continue to bring the attention to where it's going. And everybody is in a different life cycle, life stage, different things are going on. So you have to make content that adapts and talks to all of those different stages. And that's where you begin to review and optimize. That's number 5. That's the 5 and 5th step. That's kind of what we were talking about. The product iteration. You have those different shots. You throw those out there. Now you review, you optimize, and you look at the analytics. What keeps people engaged? Where are they dropping off? And then that's where we improve.
All right, that was a lot. We're gonna probably end it here, because that'll just give you guys time to research and to look at. And honestly, the first thing that you could be doing is, we're gonna alluded to earlier, is just look at the content that you like, right, and see how you can formulate that into your dealership, into your store. How could that work? How can we implement that? And if you like to see that, then you are going to like to produce it, and it's going to come off as genuine when it does get done. So the first step, go ahead, look at what you like, look at your feed, consider what you enjoy watching, and see what type of format selection that they're using, right? Is it the man on the street? Is it the Y by? Is it the what's the other one that they alluded to? The before, the
The
after, things
Yeah,
like
the
that.
story where you talked about, like, the some of the posts that start off with this large log, and they quickly allude to how he created it, but then they cut back to the beginning into like kind of talk about the story ahead of time. So
And that's another story, right? That's another episode. You show them the end because you got to get them that hook, right? That first 3 seconds. Then you can show them how the sausage is being made. So
right. So to wrap this all up, here's a quick recap for everybody. If you're just hopping on, wondering what we just talked about, if you'd have no idea, this is Automotive Primetime, where we bring tactical and practical tips to help you build better creative in your dealerships. So the algorithm rewards engagement, not followers. I know that's going to ruffle some feathers, but it's true. Follower count is great. However, it's no longer the end all be all. It's all about how you can keep people engaged and who who is seeing the content, engage with it. Use proven content formats like a POV shot, time lapses, interviews, and find this content that's actually working very well. Your first 3 seconds must hook your audience. Virality is engineered. It's not random anymore. We've seen it time and time again. Finding those relevant viral videos will help you engineer you to get more views. And then leverage psychological triggers like surprise, curiosity, and storytelling. And the 5 steps to success, I'm just going to go through them one more time for you. Research, format selection, ideation, product iteration, and review and optimize. So
the
that is
tips.
a quick recap.
All right. So hopefully you guys can pass. If you want these notes, ask Nathaniel and we get them over to you.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you next time on Automotive Primetime here on any of the channels that you're looking at. See you
We
later.
need, we need to find our own focused and fly thingy like the guys.
Yeah, they're cool.
They're cool.
We love you, Lou and Fred. You got your own. You guys are cool. All right. Deuces.
Maybe we'll do the break dance. Hey, I'll go this way right there. All right, I'll go.
Oh. All right, everybody. We're out. Later.
All right.